Now we're ready to cut a couple of openings in our shipping container. So we're going to go to Create, and we're going to use a tool called Void Forms, and we're going to do an extrusion. And that's going to require us to make sure that we select a plane to construct on. So I'm going to say pick a plane, and I'll zoom in here. I'll zoom in really close so you can kind of see what I'm going to do. I want to make sure I select a face that's flat to that outside surface there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and set that as the reference plane. And then anywhere we draw a box now, it will be on that surface. And actually, I drew it on that surface, but let's go ahead and look at the back view, which is the side I want it to be on. We were just on the back view. And we can go ahead and modify this a little bit now. This will be like a serving window. And I'll just move it up a little bit. And I'll move it up this way and maybe enlarge it a little bit. Maybe move it up a little more. All right, not critical. So we'll just click complete. And we'll go ahead and look at this in the 3D view. And it's a little, maybe not too clear, but you can see how we now have our opening cut through there. So let's go ahead and now cut another opening on the back. So I'm going to go to Create, Void Form, Void Extrusion. I'm going to go OK. And I want to be able to pick that plane again. I didn't know I had to do it twice, but I'm just going to pick another one of those flat front planes. We'll go back to the back, and we're going to make a doorway this time. I'll make that around 3 feet, and I'll just come back and change it exactly to 3 feet. Oops. Sorry about that. I just did 3 inches. It's not accepting my input here. That's a little strange. Oh, I see, because it's not the dimension. Sorry about that. We're actually getting these strange reference dimensions here. Let me just pull this in. I'm sorry about that. And I'll just change this number now. So we have a 3-foot opening, and we want it to be, let's say 7 feet high. And we'll click complete. And we'll look at that in a 3D view. And we have our 2 void openings. So we're actually just digging in a little bit into the plywood here, it looks like, with our void extrusion. We could raise that up a little bit. Let me go back to the back, and let's see if we can click into this and edit it. And I'll just come in here really close, and I'm just going to tweak this up a little bit. And there we go. We're not digging into the plywood any longer. You can still see it's almost like the weld marks of the corrugated steel that we've removed. So we now have 2 openings. You can see how poorly defined they are when you just cut through them. So we're going to put a little wood trim on them. So I'm going to go back to this back elevation. And we're going to go over to our other opening here. We'll put a little wood extrusion around it. So I'm going to go to Create, Extrusion, pick a plane. Once again, we're in the, we're going to keep that same plane. So I'm going to come here and just try to pick one of these flat surfaces. And then I'll go back to the back view again. We'll grab our rectangle tool. And we'll just go to the 2 edges of that surface. And then what I want to do is kind of make an offset to that so that it'll have a thickness to it. And let's say we'll do that as 2 inches. So I'll just go around here. So now I have just a rectangle and a rectangle. We probably don't want to extrude it. We don't want to start the extrusion right at the face. We probably want to start out a little bit. So I'm just going to put in -2 inches maybe, or -4 inches. And we'll make it an 8-inch board. So what I'll do is I'll just make this go to 4 inches. So total of 8. And it doesn't like 2 equal signs. Oh, why does it have to do that? And let's take a look at that in the 3D view. And it's going in the wrong direction. So let's quickly correct that. I'm just going to select it. And I'm going from, it went to 0 at the extrusion start. So it's at the face. We really want this to be, I don't know whether it didn't accept this negative. There, that seems correct now. And the only thing is it's got that gray look to it. Let's make it look like wood. So I'm going to select it and let's give it a material. We'll make a new material. We'll create, pine or something like that. So just right click on this and rename it. And let's look for a reference. I'm going to open up the library and go to the appearance palette and look for wood. Oops. And we'll just grab pine. And I'll close that off. We'll apply that and OK. And it looks a little bright because of I think it's really the way the light's hitting it. So it'll probably render better in our project. So there we have just a pine trim on there. So I'll end this clip, and then the next one we'll do the same thing with the door and maybe put another little element underneath the window.